Hello, everyone. It's Polynerdic here with you this afternoon because I have had a tabletop role playing game that I have wanted to talk to you about for a couple weeks now, ever since I picked it up as part of the TTRPG for trans rights in Florida charity drive that happened. I picked it up as a part of that, and I have been in love with it ever since. And today I stopped and picked up the hard copy of it because I wanted to make sure the creator got all of their money that they deserve for this. This is a brilliant TTRPG called Lighthouse at the End of the World. It's a solo RPG, and we're going to talk about that in great length because I'm always the DM when my group gets together. I never get to be a player, but I love role playing and storytelling and all of that. And games like Lighthouse at the End of the World are perfect for a guy like me who is always the DM and never the player, because they let me portray a character and I can do it at my leisure when I don't have to get a group together. I can just, hey, I've got an hour this afternoon. Let's do this. Let's play this game. There's a couple of them that I'm playing like this, and we'll talk about that in the future. But right now, Lighthouse at the End of the World. Great game, written by Ken Lowry. I'm going to leave that in because I like to do things raw and live, even when they're recorded. It was not bitten by Ken, it was written by him. It is a fantastic game where you are a lighthouse keeper at the end of the world on a remote island, hence the end of the world. And it's haunted, and the ghosts are up to shenanigans, and you're dealing with your past, your memories, your guilt, whatever it may be that ails you, and you do it in the form of a journal. This is my journal that I'm using for Lighthouse. I adapted it a little bit because I'm a fantasy nut, and I made it I set it in my fantasy world that I've been building for years. And rebuilding and tearing down and building again. I set it in that. My lighthouse keeper happens to be in love with a woman that he's writing letters to, because that's how I pulled it. There's two formats. You can be keeping a journal or you can be writing letters. So every one of the entries in mine is a letter written home to his love, and I've just gotten to the point through the prompts where he's starting to really see an uptick in ghost activity, and is now starting to work to resolve that. I pulled the backup. The game, not very rules heavy. All you need to play it is some dice, a tarot deck, or excuse me, a deck of cards, not a tarot deck, and a tower, like a Jenga tower. I'm using a dice rolling mechanic, dice roller mechanic to simulate the. This is going to fall behind me, and it's going to be a distraction. I'm using a dice tower, dice roller mechanic online because Jenga towers give me anxiety, and I don't want to leave one up while I play this game. And you draw from your deck of cards. In fact, you know what? I was ready for this and then forgot about it. Here's the PDF. Ken Lowry, he created it. He didn't bite it. It's based on the Jules Verne novel, The Lighthouse at the End of the World. That's the inspiration. It'd be great if I could... well, I don't want it to be highlighted, thank you. See, what you need: one 6-sided die, one coin, a tumbling block tower, or you can go to like a site like this and do it. This will give you the way to do it, and then you can find your own. The 10 tokens, a map. I'm using a map from my fantasy world, and something to write in. And then music if you like. I haven't checked this out yet. I haven't checked out the playlist yet. But you got your safety tools, which are very important when you're doing role play. Um, let me find. Cadence of play is what I was looking for. Back out a little bit here and go back to this. This is the important bit that I was trying to find. Cadence of play, you roll your d6 and you pull that many cards. And each card is associated with a specific thing. You know, so if you draw the 3 of clubs, the 9 of diamonds, and the ace of spades, you look at the prompts for those. And I like to write as if I'm writing for like a whole week. Like, this is what's happened this week. Sometimes I pull enough cards that it's over several weeks because, like, I want to keep it to like a letter format, and this is just the way I'm playing. I want to keep it as a letter format because I want it to be like, hey, I found this thing. There was this secret room. It had all this stuff in it. I haven't had time to go through it all, but I'll keep you posted. Like, it's you know, I try to keep the letters to no more than front back of the journal page. I need to hold on to that card that flew out. And I don't have that in front of me. I don't know if you could even see what I wrote. Shit, I gotta hold on to this card. This card's important. It's important to my story. Anyway, I try to keep it, you know, like no more than 2 journal pages when I'm playing. And that's just for me. I begin every letter or every entry as a letter, you know, dearest Rosalind, or Rosalind, excuse me. And I'm going to offend my imaginary character I made that doesn't really exist. And that's the story of it. That's the cadence of play, as it says in the PDF. I am loving this style of game. As I said in the intro, I always end up DMing. My group right now is my friend and 2 of my 3 children. Sometimes the third child's there. But very rarely. And then oftentimes I'm only running for the 13 and 17-year-old. So I don't get a lot of player experience. You know, there's things I could do to fix that, but given the state of the world, you know, is it worth... We're not getting into that. So I love these solo journaling games. I collect journals. I've always been a journal guy. I have so many of them, composition notebooks, fancier ones like this that have, you know, a theme to them. I've got a couple leather ones. In fact, I'm playing another game right now that has a really cool, like, Celtic design on it. We'll talk about that one in the future. Solo journaling RPGs are amazing. I am thrilled to have finally latched onto that idea because it is fun to embody a character. That's why people love role-playing games in general. And I end up playing all of the characters that aren't the PCs most of the time. So this lets me just speak in a singular voice, embody that character, whether it's a dude of mixed heritage, orc and human, riding to his mixed heritage, elf and human fiance, as he does his duty at a lighthouse at the end of the world, keeping ships safe from entering a magical phenomenon, or whether you're playing as a guy from New Jersey who's at this lighthouse that was very much inspired by a real place. Because that's the crux of it. The game comes with a map. It has a map in it. Of like the very real world location that the game's setting is based in. I just personally flavored it more to my liking because it's my game. No one's gonna come and take the journal away from me and say you can't play it this way. Lighthouse at the end of the world. It's I think I got it for $15. Yes, $15 at my friendly local game store. If you're local, that's YaldaQuest. You can get it on itch.io. You can get it through the publisher. You can get it in a number of places. highly, highly, highly recommend it, especially if you're like me and you don't always have a group to play with, or you're not always able to be a player. You always have to run the game. It's ideal for folks like this guy. So check it out. Worth every penny. And I'll see you soon. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe here on YouTube, over on Twitch, anywhere that Polynerdic can be found. And I will see you around.